Isaac Vance from Channel 6 News, and I'm here today with highly achieving professor from Virginia Tech, Kyle Schilling.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So we just have a few questions for you, if that's all right.
No problem.
Okay, first of all, has America had a great impact on the world when it comes to the engineering field?
I would say it definitely did. America has came up with a variety of products and inventions and have greatly innovated them.
Okay, you say products and inventions. Can you give me some examples of these?
Well, some examples would be things like transportation, which we have widely innovated with planes and cars in a huge fashion. Also things like indoor plumbing, which make life much, much easier. And then electricity, which eventually led to the light bulb.
Okay, so you say we have innovated the transportation field. How have we done that?
Well, in terms of cars, we made it, Henry Ford made it much more cheap and affordable for the average human around the entire world to have a car.
How did he do that?
He used the assembly line, which was also another invention that was America made, which also made the production of products very much easier.
Okay, and you said something about plumbing. Can you tell me why that was a big deal?
Well, the big deal with plumbing was back then in the medieval times, they used to just like throw their waste and their toilet stuff in the streets. And what plumbing and the sewage system did was allowed it not to be as hazardous because there was a lot of disease outbreaks with all the waste in the streets and stuff.
Okay, so you would say for the most part America's inventions have been beneficial?
Oh, definitely. Everything America has come up with is definitely beneficial. Nothing was really to a downside other than when you came up with the cars and the planes, it might have created more pollution. But if you look at the outcome, it made it much, much easier for Americans and other people to get around.
So you'd say there's definitely cons, but the pros outweigh them.
There's definitely cons, but the pros are much, much, much greater than some of the cons.
Okay, thank you for coming in today. I hope we
problem.
can see you again.
You too.
20 years ago, we solved it with a bitmap screen that could display anything we want, put any user interface up, and a pointing device. We solved it with the mouse, right? We solved this problem. So how are we going to take this to a mobile device? Well, what we're going to do is get rid of all these buttons and just make a giant screen.
Hi, I'm Isaac Vance from Channel 3 News, and I'm here today with world-renowned Dr. Dante Brown.
Hi Isaac, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We just had a few questions for you, if that's alright.
That'd be fine with me.
First of all, how would you say the United States ranks among other countries internationally in the medical field?
I think we're really up there, but when you say ranking, I don't really think we rank. See, countries, we're all in the same fight, okay? We're all going for the same goal, is to eliminate disease with vaccinations and treatments to these things. But we're really up there because we've treated so many diseases like smallpox and our fight in cancer. These have all helped so many people.
Okay, you said you fixed smallpox. Are there anything else like that you've created a vaccine for or cured?
Right now we're on eradication campaigns for polio and measles, and that'll really help the community. We've also wiped out the flu in 1933, and that has helped so many Americans and people worldwide.
It has. So without these vaccines you talk about, how do you think the world would look like?
Well, smallpox, as you know, has already wiped out about 3/4 of the Native Americans in America. So that would have played a role on almost everybody around the world, and that already did do on Native Americans. So that would have spread it to them. The world would have been in a different place.
Yeah, if we hadn't cured it, of course.
Right.
And then, so what else would you say, like, has America been beneficial or harmful to the rest of the human race in the biomedical standpoint?
I think we've been extremely beneficial. Yes, Spaniards came over and killed 3/4 of the population of Native American, which was millions of people.
With the smallpox?
But overall, we've helped so many people, and we've put so many dollars into vaccinations that I think has helped so many people, and just,
So you think the good outweighs the bad?
Yes, I do.
Good. So that's been your show today with Dante Brown, and we hope to see it again.
Thanks, Isaac.
Hi, I'm Isaac Vance from Channel 6 News, and I'm here today with Ryan Killian, a high-ranking officer in the Marines.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. I was just wondering if we could ask you a few questions, if that's all good with you.
That's why I'm here.
Okay, so how has America's military affected history?
Well, over the years, we've come up with many new innovative war tactics to use basically anywhere across the globe. We've had countless add-ons to already existing inventions, such as the military-compatible cars, the supersonic planes. Just many of those, we have played a major part in wars that have taken place all across the globe. Examples as the Iraqi War, World War I, World War II.
Mm-hmm. So, specifically World War II, what was America's effect on World War II?
As we were coming in, when we were bombed at Pearl Harbor, our Allied troops were falling back and losing ground as the Axis powers were coming in and taking the land. Over the course of the war, we sent in 16 million troops with only 300,000 U.S. casualties. And we sent in hundreds of thousands of rounds of ammunition, of guns, of cars, of planes, just things anything we could have to help sway the war.
Yeah, and how would you say that the world, what would the world look like now if you had never joined in World War II?
Well, expecting if we never joined in, the Nazis, Third Reich, would have, one, taken over Russia, and I expect they would have eventually taken over all across the globe. But without us, I expect that there'd be nothing but chaos and tyranny.
Yeah, and then you said there were some technological advancements. Can you give me a few examples of those?
Yeah.
And then were they beneficial or harmful to the human race?
Like I said, supersonic plane, for example, that was a major one. We were able to go in and silently bomb areas that were highly hostile. Mm-hmm. The atom bomb created by Albert Einstein was made in America. That has created much fear in the hearts of people all across the world. And without that, there would have been no Cold War.
So you'd say that's a negative?
I'd say that there were positives, but the negatives do outweigh the positives.
And if you had to go all in all throughout history, America, is it beneficial or harmful through the world standpoint?
The founding of America?
Yeah, militarily.
Beneficial. Without us, wars would have been lost, lives would have been lost, all hope most likely would have been lost. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your service, sir.
No problem.
That's been all today.
Despite all the peace and prosperity, there are still almost 100,000 American troops in Europe, scattered in hundreds of bases hosted by the 27 American allies. So should one day the US pull out, is the United Europe ready to care for their continent? America withdrew its military presence from around the world. While the US is one of the most indebted countries, their military budget is larger by 2/3 than Russia, China, and all other potential US enemies combined. From a place of refuge, the battery factory became a death chamber. As the Dutch peacekeeping troops stood by, the Serbs murdered 8,000 Bosnians.
Jer je nenormalno I neprestano pucalo. I ja više ne znam ni šta puca, ni odakle puca, samo strepim I čekam kad će da budem pogođena. I sama sam se brinula za sebe I za svoju kćerku koja je bila pored me.
Among the dead were Fadila's husband and son, who were buried in a mass grave across the street. Their remains have yet to be identified.
Clinton je dobar čovjek, ali ja sam na njeg ljuta. za vrijeme njegovog mandata moje dijete nestalo. Ubijeno vjerovatno, muž ubijen. Još glavu mu nisam našla. Identifikovana, nije ukopana.
The European people, the European governments, really waited a little bit too long. And I think if the Americans wouldn't have come, the killing would have, go on and on.